All right, so moving on to the next segment. Which respective fighter has the overall better resume? Is it Khabib or Charles Olivera? Which respective fighter in the UFC has the overall better resume? And both of these fighters are truly special. They have brought a lot to. They have a lot to offer in their respective UFC careers. I think at the end of the day, Khabib is already a shoe-in, has a shoe-in spot to be a UFC Hall of Famer. And when Charles Olivera officially retires, he's going to be UFC Hall of Famer as well. But I asked this question on our social media polls just a few weeks ago. Which respective fighter has the better overall resume between Khabib and Charles Olivera? And 85% of you said Khabib has the better overall resume than Charles Olivera. I got to disagree with you guys. I'm going with the 15% that said Charles Olivera does have the overall better resume. And I just believe that Charles Olivera does have the better overall career resume than Khabib, and especially in the lightweight division. Charles Olivera can go down as arguably one of the greatest lightweight UFC fighters in UFC history, or could go down as the best lightweight fighter in the sport of UFC. So you get acknowledged in combat sports, whether it's boxing or UFC. You get acknowledged by beating the best competition, and Charles Olivera has done that since he's been in the lightweight division compared to what Khabib has done. Yes, don't get me wrong, Khabib has done a lot of great things in his respective UFC career, but what Charles Olivera is putting together on his resume, it's hard to argue that Khabib has a better resume. I'm going to explain why. Khabib's biggest wins of his UFC career are against the following names: Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje. And you look at Charles Olivera. Look at his resume. He went on a historic 9-fight win streak in the lightweight division, beating guys like Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje as well. And when you look at it, Khabib spent a total of 5 rounds in the octagon against those top 3 names that I just said. Against those 2 names I just said, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. Spent a total of 5 rounds in the octagon, championship rounds with them, and won both of those fights by submission. Now you look at what Charles Olivera did against those 2 respective fighters. He only spent a total of 4 total rounds in the octagon with those 2 respective fighters, who were the same opponents. You look at how Khabib beat Gaethje. He also beat him by a submission victory, but Charles Olivera made Gaethje he made the job look easier. He got a submission victory against Gaethje in the first round compared to Khabib's submission win that he got against Gaethje in his final fight back in 2020. So it's looking like the more Charles Olivera against those 2 fighters, he spent less time in total rounds against them compared to Khabib's time, and he made Gaethje submit faster than what Khabib did to Gaethje. So it's more impressive to me in terms of 2 fighters that they've both been in the octagon with. And then there's the what-if factors. If things played out, how many successful title defenses would Khabib had as the lightweight champion in the UFC if he never retired in 2020? Yes, if you guys, everybody knows that Khabib retired after the passing of his father. His final fight against Gaethje in 2020 during the pandemic, he retired as the lightweight champion in the sport of UFC. And then there's my what if. If that never happened, how many successful title defenses would he have had as the lightweight champion? And then this is my what if for Charles Olivera. What if Charles Olivera was never stripped of the lightweight championship heading into UFC 274 last year in the month of May in 2022? He would have been tied with Khabib having the most successful lightweight championship defenses in UFC history. So there's a lot of big what ifs with these two. These guys have put together some special moments in the lightweight division, and their resumes will always be tied together. And if you really take away the early career losses of what Charles Olivera went through in his early UFC career, it's not even close of how these 2 resumes match up against each other. And the conversation wouldn't even be close. Charles Olivera has the most submission wins in UFC history at 16 submission wins, compared to Khabib has a total of 11 submission wins. Charles Olivera has a total of 9 knockout wins via knockout, compared to Khabib's 8 wins via knockout. So you're looking at the resumes. If you were asking me, Charles Olivera has the better resume. The only thing that's taking away is that what if factor. If he was never stripped of the lightweight championship, a day before his championship fight against Gaethje, which he re-won that title after being stripped of missing weight. If he never got stripped of losing that title via missing weight, he would have been tied with the most successful lightweight championship defenses in UFC history with Khabib. You take away Charles Olivera's early career losses in his career before he went to new heights and new levels in his UFC career, and this conversation isn't even close. So I'm going with Charles Olivera. I do believe that he does have the overall better resume than Khabib. Hot take, but that's my take on it. Charles Olivera has a better resume.